Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm sorry it's taken so long to put out some more art and videos. I've been trying to juggle work, essays, learning, and just fitting in art around that. I've also rekindled my obsession of Horizon Forbidden West, so I've been playing that a lot recently. But in this video, I'm going to show you the process of a sort of self-portrait I did based off the Soldier Poet King trend from the song by the Oh Hellos. Now, I had wanted to draw a self-portrait for a while for this trend, but I never really sketched anything that I was particularly inspired by. I saw a few of these videos from other artists, and it was sort of the same with me in the fact that they expected to get poet because artist, and instead got king, which is what I got as well. This was the first and only sketch I did before moving on to completely different things, and I just didn't go back to it. I don't know, it just had a bit of a sad feeling to it, and I don't think it was the vibe I really wanted to go for. Then, in February 2024, me and a couple of my friends went to a fantasy ball hosted by the company Gauntlets and Gowns, which was held at the time in London. I had such a fun time choosing my dress and accessories to the theme, which was Night Court Ball. And it was a really fun event, and although it wasn't explicitly stated, it was inspired by the ACOTAR book series, if you know, you know, because they had actors there dressed up as the characters, which was a nice fun touch. So a little bit of story time about this event. I'm not a fan of London, just because I'm an introvert and I don't like crowds. I didn't grow up in a big city environment. I'm much more of a small town, village, countryside appreciator. There are just too many people in London. I've driven in the outskirts of London once, not even in central London, and never again. I don't like the tube. I've lived in Southampton and Plymouth for a few years, which are both still classed as cities, but they're much smaller. So I did enjoy living there. Southampton especially was a nice city. But anyway, getting to London was fine. But like 1 hour before our train was due to get into the London station, we happened to check the Airbnb app to see that they had cancelled our accommodation. So like 1.5 hours, 1 hour before check-in, they gave us some excuse that something had happened. I don't know, it was like something to do with water, maybe a pipe. I'm trying to remember now. But it was something to do with the housekeeping. They couldn't get it ready in time or something like that, which we called bullshit on because they could have definitely let us know more than 1 hour before check-in, because they would have needed to get people there to turn it over for us anyway. So we weren't happy. We were 3 young women with nowhere to stay in the middle of London, going, wanting to get dressed and ready for an event. So we spent the last hour on the train trying to find somewhere to stay, which was a little bit stressful. But yeah, we very luckily, we managed to get into another Airbnb, which was close to the event venue and around the same price. So it wasn't too bad, and actually probably worked out quite well, because I think the venue, not the venue, but the place we stayed was actually a little bit nicer than the one we originally had. But it did mean we missed the beginning of the event because we were still getting ready. I think this was one of the first events the G&G team did. So yeah, by the time we got there, which I'm sure was only 30 minutes after doors opening, there were no canapes left, which had been part of the ticket price. And I can't remember if you were supposed to get a free glass of Prosecco or something as well, which we didn't get. I also thought that there would be some group dancing going on, like Bridgerton style ball dancing with an instructor, but it was just a couple performing a dance routine, which was a little disappointing. I personally think the tickets were overpriced for what we got. But saying that, I still had a great time. I loved looking at everyone's outfits, and I would go to another event of theirs, because this was like, I think, one of their early ones, one of their first ones, and they've done more since then. So I hope that they've sort of picked up tricks and things and refined parts of their process. They did, I think, a Hobbit summer picnic event a couple of years ago. And this year, they're doing the Ball of Atlantis, which is really close to where I live. So I was gutted I couldn't go to that. But, currently saving up for wedding and stuff. But I'm sure there will be another one that comes around close to me. It would have been perfect as well, because I've already got a blue dress. So yeah, I could have reused my dress and just got different accessories, which would have been cool. But anyway, yeah, that was that short story. But after the event, I realised that my outfit was the perfect inspiration to draw for the challenge, considering I got king. My first iteration of the drawing I tried, there were things about it that were bothering me. I kept redoing bits, and looking back, I don't hate the overall concept of my original start to the piece, but I did end up starting over with this one that you're watching, because when you're not feeling it, sometimes it's best to just start over. I might use my previous drawing as a base for something else, but I'm really happy with this finished piece. I finished it in the summer of 2025, but I still think it's my favourite piece from that year. I don't get to dress up like this often, so I don't know when I'll be able to wear this dress again, but hopefully I will at some point. It's also really inspired me to do another self-portrait in my wedding dress, which will be happening this August, which I'm very excited for. I can't say much about the dress because my fiance watches my videos, so I don't want to drop any hints. But yeah, I was really happy with the end result of this. I loved wearing the dress. The shoes were gorgeous, but killer. I didn't draw them here because, I don't know, they just didn't fit in with the whole vibe, I guess. And I didn't want to draw them. I'm really jealous of you guys in America who have Ren Fair, because I would be all over them if there were more in the UK. Like, just let me dress up as a hobbit and set me loose, to be honest. Yeah. They would be so cool if there were more in the UK, but hey-ho. I've tried to do a bit more of a slowed down process for this one as well, so hopefully seeing my process helps some of you out. If you've been to a similar fantasy ball, let me know all about it in the comments. I would love to hear about them, because I love seeing people's outfits. I love, that sort of thing. I wish I could go to more, but the tickets tend to be pretty expensive. Like the G&G balls, I wouldn't be able to go every year because the tickets are just expensive, along with, the accommodation and all that sort of thing. But yeah. Anyway, I'll leave you to some music and the rest of this video. I would really love it if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!